seen you in ages.
I know, it's been a while. I'm really good. How are you guys?
Yeah, awesome. We are
That's good.
currently in kind of like a dingy
Basement.
You can probably tell from like the brick wall
I thought you
behind
guys
us.
go, no?
Yeah, we do. But we didn't book it for this evening because we are doing a Zoom call and we're like, this
Yeah,
could
fair
work
enough.
too. And so here we
Yeah.
are.
Love it.
It's quite fun, actually. It's kind of like taking it back to the roots. We started in a garage with a brick wall.
Yeah. Nice.
Taking it back to the OGs. Yeah, but no. Hello and welcome to the Jeffrey podcast. Today we're super stoked to have Kaysey on with us.
Yeah, welcome.
It's gonna be a good time.
Hi.
She's a bit of an OG. She's kind of been like following Jeffrey from day dot and been supporting Cam and I and just Jeffrey as a whole, and has always been responding positively to posts and just kind of been like rallying around us, which has been epic. And we actually have matching tattoos thanks to Kaysey as well.
Where's mine?
Will be with us till the day we die. So
that's
cool.
Yeah, I mean that probably gives you a bit of an insight into what Kaysey does for a living. But
yeah, do you want to fill us and the listeners in again, Kaysey, on who you are and what you do?
So yeah, hi, I'm Kaysey. I am a tattooist. I do hand poke and machine work.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that a new addition?
In the last sort of 6 months or so, yeah, that has been really exciting because it kind of allows me to go into a little bit of a different variety of work, which is exciting. But yeah, I'm based in Tauranga. I have a studio in Papamoa.
Cool.
And I love it.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
Good.
When did you start?
I have been tattooing it's been bang on 2 years now. So I'm talking about like, from when I first like started practicing from home to now just signed a lease for a new shop, which is so exciting.
It's awesome.
Back through our previous like yarn on your guys' website, and 6 months ago I was like, I'm wanting to like open a shop, and now it's a reality, which is so exciting.
No way. That's so sick. That's so cool to like reflect on that and be able to go back and find that. The exact same thing happened with another guest we had on a podcast, and their brother was listening to it back and was like, everything they said they wanted to do, they're living in it right now, and it's all kind of like playing out. So that's so sick to hear that it's happening.
Yeah, it's so crazy, surreal, but it's pretty exciting. So that's me.
That's
amazing.
So awesome. So you've kind of started down the route of stick and poke, which tends to be quite like it's a bespoke, quite intimate kind of original way of like tattooing pre-machine and gun and all that kind of stuff. And like, what was your, I guess, drawing? Like, what kind of drew you to that form of tattooing?
I think so. That's what I've been doing for the last year and a half, which I think is how I kind of got a little bit of a name for myself, because it was very what the sort of normal idea of tattooing is. So I started off there. I got a couple of myself, and I was just really intrigued by how it was done and how simple it was, and how intimate the experience was. And it was just different to anything that I had ever experienced whilst getting a tattoo. So I just started practicing every night, and it kind of stemmed from there. But I just loved how simple everything was with it. So that's
what does practicing tattooing look like? It's a pretty permanent thing to practice.
People who will give up their skin for me is pretty amazing. But
some pretty loyal friends, eh?
I practice on a few different things, so some banana and some oranges, and then went to skin pretty
interesting.
Went to skin pretty quickly though. Thankfully people around me who were pretty open to me trying it out, which is so I went with the flow, and I was like, well, if you're gonna allow me to do that, I'm just gonna go for it. So I literally just was practicing like most nights after work, and I just practiced as much as I could, and I think I got pretty confident pretty quick, which is how kind of things have grown quickly, I think.
That's so ideal. The confidence that comes, I guess, from practicing in that space is awesome. What were you doing for work like previous tattooing? Like 2 years ago, what did life look like?
So 2 years ago, I was 6 months back from living in Melbourne. I was working just retail at Lululemon. I got transferred back here because I decided Melbourne was way too big for me. So I came back and was working at Lululemon full time. So I was doing that, and I was also it's a bit of a I was doing a lot. I was studying psychology, and I was also applying in the, which I was over halfway through, about 3/4 of the way of getting into the police force. So very different.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What an interesting mix of things to then jump to tattooing.
I know, complete 360. I did not think that I anything. I mean, I've always been artsy, and I've always kind of done creative things as long as I can remember, but never did I think my career and my full-time job. So yeah, very different pathway.
Yeah. Would you say you were in a space where you were just kind of trying a number of things to see where you fit, and nothing really did seem to fit, or what kind of
for psychology and the police force, in that I wanted to be a detective, so it kind of all stemmed and went with each other with that. But that's something I'd wanted to do for a while. I just lacked a slight bit of confidence into whether or not I thought I could do it. But yeah, I just applied and then went from there. And the psychology studying was kind of something that that was going to help me when being in the police force and after. I don't know, from it. Yeah. So yeah.
That's so ideal. We have you I guess looking at your Instagram and stuff like that, you've got this really cool way of doing social media and navigating that whole world through even just your little sketches that you do, that you post up on your stories, designs that are uniquely available for one customer that they can buy off you, the creator. And then that's such a cool concept. Where did you kind of come up with that kind of stuff?
To be honest, when I first started my Instagram, I started it in color. My Instagram black and white for people who haven't seen it. It's completely black and white, so there is no color on there whatsoever. Maybe in the stories and stuff it's color, but yeah, on my posts it's all black and white, which I like because you don't see a lot of people just black and white, so I guess it differentiates me from others. I don't know, I kind of just went with the flow, to be honest. I'm not much of a planner, so I kind of just went with it, and then I don't know, it's worked out well, I guess. And I love how uniform it is and how it just flows all together, and it's really easy to make it look nice, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Because you've built your kind of social media presence on your by Kaysey account, right? Nearly to 11,000 or over 11,000 now.
Over 11,000, 11.2 is absolutely mind blowing.
So cool.
That is insane.
In the last and a half, which is pretty insane. I had only started my Instagram about 6 months after I'd started tattooing, so it's it's crazy.
What do you pin down that kind of, I guess, the influx of followers and people wanting to engage with your content? Where's that come from, and what would you say? It's no idea.
Honestly, I still kind of pinch myself, and I'm how do that many people I just don't understand.
So cool.
What I'm doing is so different. There's not many hand poke artists out there. So that's definitely what helped me build. And because I guess I do quite all my stuff is fine line. So, you don't see it as often, I guess. It's definitely becoming common now. But I think, when I started, that's definitely something that kind of differentiated me from others.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I guess something that I noticed as well was you seem to have quite a loyal following. And I guess as a tattooist, right, it's such an intimate, personal experience that if you are going to get a tattoo, you're more than likely going to, in a way, partner with a tattooist, a tattoo artist for a significant part of your life, and you will only get tattoos from them. So from what I've seen, it looks like you do have this real loyal following and almost this community behind you. And I think
a cool relationship.
Like that's the beauty, I think, as well, of New Zealand, is that we are such a smaller, tight-knit, like, we are a bit of a family in a weird way, right?
Yeah,
and like
100%.
I just see that through your stories and through the people sharing like the tattoos they get from you, that you have like this like community backing you, which is like pretty epic.
Crazy. I think that's a part of why people also come back to me, is that I can confidently say that I love the connection and I crave the connection that I am able to experience every single day. So it's pretty amazing being able to connect with my clients on such a deep level, especially for some of them. I do some very significant work to them and some pretty special stuff that's still, like, I was with a client the other day and I literally cried because, and you know, it's a crazy experience sometimes, because you hear about these people's stories and you hear about what they go through and why they're getting this, and it just makes me feel so humbled and so like grateful that they trust me to be able to do that for them. So I think that is one thing, is I definitely am personable, and I take pride in how I interact with the people that come and see me, because I think such a massive experience in getting a tattoo is to really connect with the artist and make sure that you're vibing with them and that you get along really well and you feel super comfortable. So it's pretty cool, and I get a lot of positive feedback regarding all that sort of stuff, which makes me feel very good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Positive feedback is such a cool thing. Have you experienced, I guess, much of the other side of that coin? And like, I feel like social media can play a massive part in that, but also even just operating a business and doing like work that's like so, permanent and like navigating that world. And how have you found that, I guess, in the space of, trying to like navigate negative feedback or constructive criticism? Like, how have you handled that?
Yeah, you definitely do get that. And like, there's always going to be judgment, and there's always going to be people who don't agree with the work that you do or don't like you because you may be doing the same thing as them and they see that as competition. And I definitely have had my fair share of that. I've got to say some of it's hit pretty hard, but I guess that's all of a part of running a business as well, especially something that is so creative as people judge and people I don't know, they can get pretty nasty, but I take it on the chin and I try to kind of look past that and be confident in my own work and be confident with the experience that I do give people. It's always going to happen, and that's social media for you as well. It's always
it's not a matter of like trying to make sure it doesn't happen, right? It's like, well, okay, when it is going to happen, how am I going to react? Like, what am I going to do? Who are the people and friends I'm going to go to like rally around and get to back me and encourage me and build me up?
Don't give them the reaction, because it's not worth it. And I'm not going to stoop to the level that those people would, go to. And then that's fine. Like, I am proud to say that I would never do that. But that's social media for you. I guess you always get it.
Such great, simple advice. It's like, just don't react.
Don't give them what they're looking for.
Thing, and do it with confidence, and people will either judge you or they'll come along with you and they'll join you for the ride.
Quick question, like, what is something that you've learned about people through this whole experience? Because I feel like, as we've mentioned, tattooing so intimate, running a business is like very people orientated and focused. Like, what's one thing that you've learned about people and just humanity through this process?
There are so many different people out there with so many different experiences that you don't even consider or that you don't even believe happen until you kind of hear about it. So it's pretty crazy, like, hearing all the other people's stories and stuff like that. I guess like everyone goes through their own difficulties and goes through their own sort of walk of life, and people have different ways of dealing with that as well. So I guess just like learning about other people and what people go through, and it's crazy.
Has that changed the way that you've, I guess, related to even friends and like people in your life, or viewed people in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, I'm always learning. Like, you're always learning, no matter what you're doing. You are always, every single day, I'm learning something new. I'm taking something from a client or something from this person, and it opens your eyes to a lot. Yeah, for sure.
How has that kind of understanding affected your craft as well? Like the way that you create and tattoo even? Like, are there any practices or things that you have to take into consideration? Like knowing that every single day, every single booking you go into, you have no real idea what to expect to a degree. And how do you navigate that?
I think you've just got to, like, I go on to every appointment with such an open mind and listen. I listen a lot, because I think that people, I mean, when you come to a tattoo appointment, I feel, especially if you're getting something so significant to you, you want to talk about it and you want to share that experience or why you're getting that tattoo. So I think it's pretty surreal that people allow me to hear that. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I try and relate to people as much as I can, as well as just listening and letting them talk and letting them, have that as an out for them, being able to talk, able to advise with them and stuff.
It's like a unique form of therapy in a way, by the sound of it.
Counseling.
It sure is. 100%.
Yeah. So you put that psychology degree to use.
Even like, I don't know, like hearing all of that, it sounds like one takeaway that I've already picked up is, I guess, the importance of actually like listening. And it's something that I feel like we often miss, like all the time in life. Like we miss like just a simple thing of sitting and like listening to what people have to share and say.
Yeah, 100%. And tattooing someone and actually listening and being so present in the moment and actually connecting with that person. Like it's, we're so online all the time, and we're always doing something. So it's nice to kind of take a step back and be able to just be focusing on that experience with that person. And that's what makes it so special, is that it's that one-on-one sort of connection.
And taking the pressure off yourself to even respond in any profound way, or like help, or just listen, right? And like just sit there, and if someone's had like an absolutely horrendous week or whatever, just being like, man, that sucks. I'm so sorry for you. Like I'm here to listen though. Like keep going.
I feel like listening is a great way to build empathy, but also build relationship, right? Like
trust.
And trust. And that's probably come down to a lot of the success of what you do. And even I'd say, like, as we both have literally been through this process with you, where we've come and probably talked your ear off for like, and we say all of this about listening as we sit here and talk.
It's great.
But no, genuinely, it's awesome. It's an awesome thing to be a part of. And thanks for that opportunity. I think one of the cool things as well is like you engaged with Jeffrey on a real cool level as well. And like I remember you bought one of our prints. I think maybe one of the first people that actually purchased a print from us. And I remember you had it hanging up on your wall in your studio. And we had some friends that like came down and got like tattoos with you. They were like, what the heck? It's crazy to see like how such a small world like life can be, and when like supporting local and supporting businesses around you can be such an awesome.
It's awesome.
Besides just tattoo, I remember seeing you also have some other little avenues with by Kaysey as well, don't you?
So I guess I forget out half of what I do as well, because I'm so consumed in conventional tattooing that it's very different. I also I do sell prints as well here and there. I do custom portraits and custom designs that people want me to do. And I also do cosmetic tattooing. So I my brows, which I've been doing for the last year and a bit as well. So yeah, love that. It kind of breaks up my day as well, which is really nice. So I'm able to kind of be creative in a different way, which is, it's really.
Quick question. Do you do moustaches?
Have you ever done a cosmetic moustache? And if not, will you take your first client?
Do that for you, Cam.
Yes.
I've always wanted a more full moustache, I'm not gonna lie. I actually met this dude on the weekend who had this beautiful thick moustache. I was like, man, I envy that.
Yeah. And then you shaved it off and it was all just cosmetic.
They like start to like curl them up. It's
so cool. It was actually funny. This was like maybe last year. I still remember this guy. I was out for dinner with a friend and he just rocks up to this restaurant and he's in like a tuxedo and like a 3-piece suit, which is again something you don't see very often these days. He has this beautiful waxed mustache and like a slick back comb back here. And he goes and you can you can watch the dialogue start to happen with who he was meeting up with, and you're like, this is a first date. Like you're sitting there, you're like, I know that this is a first date.
There is way too much wax in that mustache.
Yeah, and I still distinctly remember that guy, and I was just like, it was the most funny interaction to ever watch, because the girl that he was meeting up with was like definitely taken aback with like his presence, and I was like, this is just hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. What's your coming back to you, Kaysey?
Yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry.
and far away from mustaches. What's your line of work? Have you found any real like barriers or hurdles that you've had to jump through, even self-limitations like that you've really battled with or been challenged by that have kind of held you back in your creative area?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, I don't know if I'm the only person, I'm sure I'm not the only person that does this, but I often compare myself to other artists, which is such a thing to do because everyone is so different and everyone's work is so different and they do things differently. And I have no means to do that, but it's something that I guess I'm human and I do sometimes. And I doubt my work and my ability to do a good job or the right design or stuff like that. It's definitely something I've struggled with in the past, although you definitely learn to just kick that thought in the butt.
Nice.
Which I've definitely had to do multiple times, but I mean, especially being a creative, that's something that I'm sure a lot of people struggle with, because being creative is you've got such a wide variety of what you're doing. So it's definitely something that you're constantly, like me personally, I'm constantly working on. But yeah, I feel like that's normal.
Yeah,
it's a good part of everyday life for a lot of people.
So give us a little bit of an insight into an average day for Kaysey. What did today, hopefully today you were on the tools, otherwise this won't work. But what did today look like for you? What does an average day look like?
Today was actually a bit of a shopping day for the new studio.
Oh, yes.
Kind of on the tools.
Yeah.
The tools we like to be on.
Yeah.
1.5 hours and was looking around like all the stores to find pretty cool pieces to pop in the studio. But awesome. On a normal day where I'm not slacking off, I'm usually at the studio at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm drawing for my clients either the night before or the morning of, depending on the complexity of the design. And then I've got from anywhere 3 clients to sometimes 9 or 10. It just depends on the designs. If I'm hand folk, if I'm doing machine, I have a problem with working too much. So I'm back to back to back to back all day, which is, to be honest, what I love. I just like to I keep going, and then I don't like I don't know, get tired, I guess. So yeah, it varies. It just depends on the designs and stuff on the day. And then I'll come home after a full day of tattooing, whether that's 8 hours, sometimes it's 10 hours, sometimes it's more, just depending on the day. I come home and I'll literally cook dinner and then sit down and do like another 2 to 3 hours on my phone, social media, replying to clients, replying to emails, posting, all that sort of stuff. So like, I feel bad for my partner sometimes because he kind of just sits there and he's like, and I'm like, sorry, I've just got to do this work. I've just got to start. But he's really good. He understands and is really supportive, which is good. But yeah, I work a lot, but I'm trying to build myself up still even. So I love what I do. I'm so lucky to be able to do what I do. And so awesome. I take that and I use that as fuel to keep doing what I'm doing and push myself and draw more and, you know, get better. And so I work a lot, but I do love it.
That's so cool. Yeah.
2 days a week off, but sometimes it doesn't always happen like that. Sunday, Mondays are my days off. But yeah, pretty busy usually.
That's awesome. That's so cool to hear, like that what you are doing for your full-time work energizes you and that you love it so much that you struggle to stop, but not out of a place of necessity or I need to work, I need to like be making money or whatever, but you just love it. Like, and I can see that and I hear that and it kind of oozes out of the way you express it and share with us. So that's awesome. Yeah. How do you turn off from that? Like, what do you do to just unwind and take a break if you're on those tools so often and you're drawing and you're tattooing and you're, you know, setting up shop and making sure the studio's all in check? Like, what do you do besides that?
It takes a lot for me to switch off, honestly. I struggle a lot with that. That's something I really need to learn to put into some balance into my life, because I do probably work a little too much for myself to be able to actually unwind at the end of the night. Being on like my computer and my phone, like pretty much from the moment I'm home to the moment I go to bed, because someone messages me, I'm like, I've got to reply, you know, like I feel bad if I'm not being as efficient as I can. And so if someone does message me, I try to reply as quick as I can. And sometimes that kind of sends me into a whirlwind of, oh, I might as well do this while I'm here and I might as well reply to this. But, you know, like it's definitely a whirlwind of things that ends up happening. But yeah, I don't know. I try and just like turn my phone off and put it in another room or put it out of sight. And I'm not really like thinking about it. It's definitely something I need to work on, because I don't often switch off as much as I would like to. But self-improvement, you gotta keep working on every day. So I'm getting there.
Oh man, I think that's something we all need to make an effort to practice more regularly, is switching off and like being more present around our loved ones and just when and where we need to, right? Like picking our moments.
I remember I was having a conversation with the dude the other day, and he was like, back in like the 1800s, the work week used to be like 20 hours. Like that literally used to be the stock standard work week. And now it's like, okay, if you want to like maintain like an element of kind of like stay in this kind of thing, maybe even a slight decrease, you got to work 40 hours a week. And it's like, that's just to maintain. That's not making any progress in life. It's kind of just to live. You got to work 40 hours a week. And it's like, okay, so if you want to go beyond that, if you want to start, you know, working harder to improve your situation, to, you know, provide for your family. And I mean, you introduce different dynamics into that, and it's hard. And it's like, dang, all of a sudden you find yourself working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And all of these like self-improvement people are like telling you have to work 90-hour weeks to be able to make like anything of yourself. And it's like, there's this massive disconnect from where we used to be. And even chatting like around, literally last night, around the lifestyle in New York, where like a lot of people, they'll work from like 8:30 in the morning through to like 6. They'll go out for dinner with their workmates, and then they'll go back to work again until like 10. And then they go home to their apartments, but their apartments are so small that it's literally just like it's a wardrobe and like a place to sleep. And that's kind of it for most people in that world. And it's like, that's so different to what we have here.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine living that, but it seems to be kind of the growing normality of what life is.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It's so crazy, but like, yeah, I don't know. And you've got the privilege of living in one of the most beautiful parts of the country as well. Like, do you? What's your favorite part about living in the area that you live in?
I think it's just so relaxed. It's so chilled out. Everyone is so lovely, and there's definitely like community vibes. We're down in Papamoa East, so we're a little from the mountains, about 20-25 minute drive, which is kind of nice because it's out of the heat of things and it's out of the super busy area, which I really enjoy. We're super close to the beach. I think we're 2 blocks from the beach. It's really close. I don't think I could move anywhere else. Like, I really do love it. I consider it my home. Yeah, I do love it.
Ticking a lot of boxes.
100%.
That's
100%.
epic. Hey, I was just wondering, like, I've never really thought of like up and coming tattooists, and like, because you know, I think about like up and coming graphic designers and photographers and videographers, and like I've worked alongside and been around so many other creatives in those kind of close lanes, but I've never really like thought about what it looks like for an upcoming tattooist or someone training. Like, obviously you've been in that space and you've probably been surrounded by those people. What did that experience look like for you? What did that kind of training season, and what sort of like advice would you give to others in that lane, being where you are now?
I guess for me, I wasn't a typical case. I'm self-taught in everything that I do other than my cosmetic tattooing. I did take a course for that, but my generic tattooing, hand poke and machine, I'm both self-taught, and so I didn't really have the mentor or do anything like that alongside someone. So it's been very different for me. I've kind of learned what I have by myself and doing research and all of that sort of stuff. So I kind of like that. I've come up with my own thing and I do it how I do it, and yeah, but it's definitely, what are you guys laughing at?
Started.
I was trying so damn hard to keep it together.
I'm so sorry.
I think the main question is, will we include it in the podcast, or will we in some way, shape or form be able to do a tidy little cut? It was, honestly,
I'm crying. I'm like actually crying.
That was one of the hardest things I've tried to resist in my life. Okay, I think we've let it out.
And breathe.
Yeah, and we're good.
What you're saying was really valuable.
Yeah, thanks.
I was talking about, I'm self-taught, and so it's been definitely a different journey as to someone who would do like an apprenticeship with a tattoo company or a tattooist themselves. I just think, it's different for everyone, but definitely just be confident and work hard. You have to do really, really long hours to kind of make it worthwhile, and to build that presence online as well, I think is really important. So social media is everything in today's world. It's everything. So make an Instagram and get posting and connect with people, and do all that sort of stuff to sort of gain your presence online, which I think is really, really important. Word of mouth is also really important. So talk to people about what you're doing, voice what you're doing, and so people get talking, and that's how you become known. But yeah, just have confidence, smash social media, and just work really hard and work the hours. It's not always going to be like that, but work the hours that you need to be successful, because it's flipping hard work. It's so hard, but I've kind of gotten to that sort of peak where I'm like, okay, I can kind of chill a little bit more and take some time, like time off if I want, or whatever. But it's definitely took a while for me to be able to do those sort of things. Working a job and tattooing at the same time was pretty intense. But I did that until I felt that I could smash it full time, and now I can't keep up. Great.
I know that like you spent some time, you came out here to Auckland for a while, which is when we hung out last. And like you've got clients, like where are your clients from? Who do you connect with? Like,
it blows my mind because I have clients all over New Zealand. My most common is Auckland. It to be Tauranga, but it's now definitely Auckland. Majority of my clients every single day come from Auckland, which is crazy to me.
It's like a 3.5 hour drive for those who don't know New Zealand. Like that's a 3.5 hour drive to get to where you are.
About 3, depending on where you're coming. But it's a lot, and crazy to me because I'm like, do you really you're gonna drive that much to come and get tattooed by me? So most of my clients from Auckland. I recently did a trip down to the South Island, so from here all the way down to Queenstown, and I tattooed along the way, which was pretty amazing because before I left, I was curious as to where people wanted me to go and stop, and there were so many people in Wellington, so many in Dunedin and Christchurch, and I was working 12, 13-hour days when I was away. It was crazy. I tattooed over 100 people in 10 days, so it was insane.
Epic.
It was a lot.
Man, what a cool memory, and what an epic achievement. That sounds like, is that a working holiday?
I mean, we had a few days in Queen. My partner came with me.
Cool.
We had some we were kind of able to chill out a little bit more, but for the most part, my days off were travel days. So we were traveling to the next destination, setting up, and we're ready to tattoo the next day. So it was pretty full on, but it was amazing. And the Wellington blows my mind. I've got so many people in Wellington, and even then they come and travel up to me, which is crazy. A client just a few days ago who flew up from Wellington for a few hours to come and get a tattoo to fly back down. Same with Christchurch. It's insane. It makes me feel so grateful and very warm and fuzzy inside the fact that people will take their time out of their day to actually come and travel. So it's insane.
That's awesome. I love talking to you about this because I think something really unique is that you're so humble about this all. You talk about your following on social, and you talk about these people that are doing these trips, and you can see in kind of some of these celebrity creatives or people with big followings, and you can tell to an extent when the pressures come on with the fame and the recognition, and getting all of this praise, and I've got these people coming left, right, and center, making trips and flights, but you're just it's so cool, man. I just love this, and I'm actually gobsmacked that people are doing this, and just so much respect for you and being in that space and being able to actually take it with such excitement, and I guess just being so surprised by it. That's a really cool space to be in, right?
Thank you for saying that, because that's really, really nice to hear that I come across like that, and because that's definitely fully the truth. I am so humble, and I'm so I'm surprised that people actually want to travel sometimes 14 hours there and back from Wellington. It's crazy. It's I don't know, that I think that's where my self-doubt comes a little bit as well, because I'm are you sure you want to come that far? And people are always so stoked that they can come to me and get this done, and it is crazy, and I'm so lucky that people do want to do that, and I think I don't know, it's mind-blowing.
That's so cool.
It's so crazy. Literally just before this podcast, Charlie and I were both talking about how in areas of our life we've also experienced imposter syndrome to some capacity, where we're
100%. It's a real thing. I sit now. I'm still like, I'm not meant to be doing this. Like, I'm self-taught. People are judging me. Like, that is 100% something that I struggle with quite often. And like I said, I try and kick it in the butt as quick as I can. But it is, it's definitely something that is going through my brain all the time.
Yeah. To people who are listening to this that deal with imposter syndrome, like, what would you like? I feel like even creatives specifically, like, I feel like that's a massively common thing, but beyond that too, like, what would you say to people in that space?
I think you've just got to own it, honestly. Be confident and drive yourself with passion, not with money. Drive yourself with doing it because you love it, and being creative because it makes you feel good, not because that's gonna pay me well, or I'm gonna get this because of that. Like, I do this because I love it. I have quite often done things for people that, someone will come in with a really special tattoo and it just hits my heart hard. I'm like, I don't even want your money. I am so happy that I was able to do this for you and that you trusted me so much to do such a special piece. Like, I don't do this for the money. I do this genuinely fucking love it. Like, it makes my heart so happy. Yeah. And I'm like, it gets me a little bit emotional talking about it, to be honest. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I think you've just got to own it with confidence and I don't know, kick it in the butt and just don't. You're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. The universe is guiding you to what you're supposed to be doing. So just like go with the flow and do it because you love it and not anything else.
So cool. I love that. That's so cool. It's like, that's such awesome encouragement. And like you have to own it, right? And like, I think something that I've noticed is when that imposter syndrome and those feelings start welling up, it's almost like a superpower that I'm going in the right direction. And it's almost like myself and that self-talk and that critic in you is trying so hard to hold you back. And it's almost like when you are actually able to notice that pattern, when you're on the brink, bro, you actually need help, eh? You need help. You're not okay, are you?
It was a project.
Poor Kaysey, man. Oh.
Not even once, but twice, ladies and gents.
Yeah, wow. That's so bad. It's up to you, bro. You're the one to make the call on whether you're going to clip it or you're going to include it.
I edit it, so
you're editing it, so you can do whatever you want.
Cross that bridge when we get to it.
But yeah, honestly, like leaning into it, and you. Oh, it makes for such a fun podcast, doesn't it?
I am just throwing the bants out there, It's all just part of it.
Yeah.
It's the production on the side, High quality production levels in this podcast. Sound effects.
But honestly, I've wrestled with it for years, and you honestly have to embrace it, and you have to just take it head on. And whenever you actually just lean into it and you go, oh, here we go, it's happening again. It's like, it's like pushing just beyond the brink of your comfort zone, right? And just beyond, you feel like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And like, surely I can't do this. Surely I'm just like an imposter. And you're not, just time and time again.
And I think also in that space of discomfort, you grow so much. Like when you put yourself in those areas where you are uncomfortable, and you're like, that discomfort literally forces you to like grow, develop, learn new skills. It's like fight or flight, right? Like you learn how to survive, you learn how to like even hone your craft, and to like, you break new grounds, you explore new avenues, you do new things, and you create more. And it's like, there's something so fulfilling about being able to look back in retrospect and be like, dang, that season was one of the toughest seasons of my life. And even if it didn't come out necessarily like positively, it's like you can look back and you can thank that season for who you are today. Because regardless of how the outcome is it's shaped your personality, it's shaped your outlook and your worldview. It's shaped even the way that you treat people and you deal with relationships and friendships. And I think like triumphing through those seasons of discomfort is such a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
What does the next year or 2 years look like for you, Kaysey?
Well, have just signed a lease for 2 years, so
nice. Boom.
looking to expand my craft, I guess. Move into a few more things, which I'm not going to say anything about yet, but there's definitely some stuff coming, which I'm excited about.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not much of a planner, if I'm being honest. I just go with the flow. I don't really put things into place. The fact that I've signed this lease for 2 years is massive for me. I've gone in half with another tattooist that I currently work in the same space with, which is super cool because I'm able to work in a larger area with someone who's doing the same sort of thing as me. So we're there to support each other and grow with each other, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm just really to just meet so many more people, create this beautiful space that I'm going to be able to work in every day, which is I'm really excited to do.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's kind of that I don't know, and I kind of just take whatever hits me in the face, really.
Yeah. That's cool. It kind of keeps you on your toes each day, right? When you do live in that space, and I guess you can be so much more excited about these things when they happen. And I guess for you, it almost sounds like, there are the people that love to plan. There are the people that love to just wing it to an extent. Sometimes there are people who are in the middle, but I guess it sounds like you just kind of get to the point where it just becomes just obvious or like overwhelming to the fact that, hey, I need a bigger space. Like business is booming.
It wasn't even I'm going to look for a new space. It literally hit me in the face with that I had met previously. I did. I wasn't looking for a new space. It wasn't something that I was actively doing. It literally hit me in the face, and with 3 days, I think we got the lease, and it was all confirmed, and we had signed, and it was crazy. It happened so fast.
Amazing.
And it's been 2 weeks since we signed the lease, and we literally move in a week and a half, which blows my mind. So yeah, I definitely didn't think so soon I would be signing a massive lease for a brand new studio. But I'm so excited, and everything is just pushing like everything in the universe has literally been like, this is the right move. This is the way you're supposed to be going and growing. And yeah, I'm literally so excited for the next year. I don't even know what it's going to bring, but I'm really, really excited.
It's so good.
That's cool.
I love it so much. We we do this thing like at the end of like almost all of our podcasts where we're like curious to know, like for you, what is your dream for kind of what we do here at Jeffrey? What would your dream be, or your big picture brain? Just what would your dream be to see the Jeffrey community do or be a part of or look like?
I think you guys need to keep doing what you're doing, because it's so amazing to see even how much you guys have grown over the last few months with your podcast and all that sort of stuff, and interacting with so many different people, not just one sort of person in the community. It's so awesome to see the different types of people that you guys have interviewed and podcasted and had yarns and stuff with. I think just grow with that and make that into a massive thing, because I think that is so cool. I personally love podcasts, so I was so chuffed when you guys asked me to be on it. I was like, really, me? That's so exciting.
Awesome.
I was like, oh my goodness. And then it's pretty crazy. But I think, and the merch is so sick. You guys need to play on that as well, because you guys really, really cool stuff. And I think definitely build on that as well, because you guys are definitely making a name for yourself. And it's cool to hear clients who come in and they see that print, and then we get talking and your name comes up, or whatever it might be. Just to hear that and coming out of people's mouths is so exciting to you guys, because it's word of mouth, it's people talking, and that's how you grow. And I think you guys are doing so well, and I'm so like humbled to be a part of your guys' journey, and to be able to say that I've been there for the last, I don't even know, probably almost a year now. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think you guys just keep connecting with people the way you do, because I think like it's awesome, and it's, you can tell it's genuine. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Kaysey.
Oh,
it's been real fun.
And I'm sorry for my farts.
I guess they're going to be in the podcast, so that's a little bow on top.
Oh, it's been good. How good. Thank you so much.
I have loved chatting to you guys. It's been so awesome.
We definitely need to catch up again. Like sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I'll and over the next 6 weeks or so. We'll tee up the time.
Maybe another tat, eh?
Hey.
We'll put our thinking caps on.
Good night.
The dream. Oh, you're awesome, Kaysey.
Cheers, girl.
See ya.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.